Hi guys, wanted to go over some tips for dribbling. One of the exercises that VABA recommends just in terms of improving your ball handling skills is the ball handling skills test. And I gave everyone at the meeting a sheet of paper that lists out all these exercises that I'll be going over. We'll do them at practice and your girls will get more and more used to how to do them and better at doing them as the season progresses. But this is just a video to show you exactly how each one is done. You guys can practice on your own, both you and your daughter if you want, as a way to get better. Remember, as you do these skills, the drills that you're practicing, remember to practice with both hands. You obviously want to be able to use both hands when you're playing basketball. You want to practice equal amounts with your strong hand as with your weak hand. You might even want to practice a little bit more with your weak hand just to make sure it gets up to the same skill level as your main hand. And secondly, when you're dribbling, you always want to try to keep your eyes up. So when you're a beginner, oftentimes you dribble while looking down at the ball. And when you're looking down at the ball, you can't see your teammates, the hoop, the opposing team. And so it's important to learn to dribble while keeping your head up and looking around. So that's one of the things to work on. With each of these skills, it's important to do the skill correctly rather than quickly. So the first thing you want to practice is do it right. And then, as you get used to doing it right and it becomes easier, then you work on doing it more quickly. All right, so let me go over the 8 drills in your ball handling skills test, and feel free to pause at any point and practice. Go back and look at them again. If you have any questions, just let me know. All right, here we go. So the first one is called the wraps. And the way the wraps work is you just take the ball and you just wrap it around your waist like this. Pretty easy if you've got adult arms, but as a kid, this is a little more challenging. After 10, you switch directions. So that's how it works. Do 10, switch directions once you get to 10. The skills test, you time yourself in a minute, see how many you can get. All right? The next one is the corkscrew. Same as the wrap, except you start at your feet. So you start with the ball down below and you wrap it around your feet. Then you come up to your waist. Then you go up above your head and you pass around your head. Then back to your waist. Then down to your feet, and that's 1. And then you keep going. So your head is going to look like this. Sorry that my camera doesn't get me all in the same shot, but that's what the head looks like. So start at your feet, go around the feet, waist, up to your head, back to your waist, down to your feet. That's 1. So every 5 of those that you complete, when you complete 5, switch directions and then keep going. That's just another way to get used to handling the ball, get used to passing it around your body, warm yourself up, and improve your ball handling skills. The next one is called a hike. The way a hike works is you get your knees bent, your feet are shoulder width apart. See if you can see this better. Shoulder width apart. You hold the ball with 2 hands in front of you like this, and you toss it up, and you catch it behind you like that, and you toss it up and catch it in front of you. That's 1. So you toss like this. Obviously, the more you practice, the better you'll get. If this is very challenging for you at first, you can try bouncing it as an easier alternative to the normal. So a hike, if you're having trouble with it, might look like this. And you want to build up to not letting it bounce. So if you want to keep score for real, if it bounces, it doesn't count. So you start in the front, go to the back to the front, and that's 1. See how many you can get. All right, the next one is a pretzel, very similar to the hike, except instead of both hands in front, you start with 1 hand behind and 1 hand in front, and you just toss like this. Every 2 counts as 1, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, you want to try not to let it hit the ground. But as an easier alternative, you can let it bounce as you're getting better and better at it. The next one is called a cross under, and that's where we first start to dribble. So, once again with your knees shoulder width apart, knees bent, feet shoulder width apart, you're going to start with your hands out wide and you're going to dribble it back and forth, like that. So every time you get left and then right, that's 1, okay? 2, 3, 4, 5. When you get to 5, switch and you go behind your back, and it's harder obviously. So you do 5 more. After 5 more, you switch back into the front. So you bend your knees a little bit. When you're doing it behind your back, it's kind of like you're squatting down and sitting. The other thing to remember is that you want to be dribbling outside of your knees. So you don't want to be doing this. That's not it. It's not this. It's this. Wide. Wide. Like that, okay? And obviously if it's harder behind your back, just go slow, practice doing it correctly, and then as you get it, do it faster. So that's the cross under. The next is the around the world. So it's the same kind of thing as the cross under, feet wide, except instead of just doing it on the same front and back, you're gonna do left and then behind your back, front, back, front, back, front, back. Every 5, switch directions. So front, back, and then you switch directions. Back, front, back, front, back, front, like that. Now, because this is a harder skill to practice, maybe you take a couple extra dribbles. So pass it here, dribble, dribble, pass it back, dribble, dribble, pass it, dribble, dribble, pass it, dribble, dribble, pass it. That's an easier way to do it. Switch directions every 5, keep practicing. Okay, then we're gonna do figure 8, no dribbling. So with your feet, again, basketball stance, feet shoulder width apart, knees bent, you pass the ball around in figure 8s, like this. Every 5, you switch directions, okay? See how many of those you can do. Now it might be harder for you to hang on to the ball, so just go slow. Make sure you practice doing it correctly, and then as you get the hang of it, then you try to do it faster. The last one is figure 8 with dribble. Same thing, except you dribble. This is another tricky one. So again, feet wide, knees bent. And every 5, you switch directions. Now ideally, you do all these drills while you're looking up. So if I'm dribbling, I want to be looking out. So parents, maybe you can practice with your kids and hold up numbers that they have to say the number when you hold up a number finger, so that as they're dribbling they have to look and react to something that's happening instead of just looking down and focusing at the ball. So again, practice doing these correctly, work on them slowly, and as you get better, then you go quicker. Well, I gave you that sheet so you can write down the number of each one that you do, and then try to beat your best score. The point is not to compare yourself to other people, but to get better and better, and only compare yourself to you. And that way, you're building your skills and you're improving how to play the game of basketball.